What's up, everybody? This is Dominic here to talk about today's General Hospital episode. Um, I got a lot to say about today's episode. Today's episode was pretty enjoyable. I was gonna talk about yesterday's episode. Yesterday's episode was semi-enjoyable in its own right, some parts of it. Um, I'm gonna start off. Let me get this mob stuff out the way. Because I'm not gonna necessarily go off about this. What I'm gonna go off about is all that this baby stuff. I'm really gonna go off about all that. Cause like I said, we all predicted this shit months ago about Brit's baby and all that, and I'm gonna go on a little mini rant about that toward the end of this video. Let me get this mob stuff out the way. So apparently, Carlos is still being held captive by Sonny. Sonny's still making empty threats about. We all know Sonny ain't about to do shit. He's making empty threats to Carlos and. Anyway, I had to get me a little drink, cause when I do all this talking in these videos, my mouth gets a little dry, so I have to have something to drink. But anyway, but yeah, so Carlos is still being held captive by Sonny. Sonny's making empty threats, cause Sonny's basically saying, I'm basically when we find out that you have nothing to do with that you have absolutely nothing to do with that you are any relation to Lily Rivera. We all know Carlos was lying. He basically, and I actually have a friend that actually gets the magazine, like the Soaps in Death, the Soap Opera Digest, like magazine sent to her. So he basically sent some stuff over to me, and he told me, well, in my inbox and Twitter, and told me that, yeah, Carlos did lie to say basically because he knows Sonny probably would have been done shot Carlos if he didn't bring up the whole Lily stuff. So anyway, so while all that's going on, we cut to scenes between Alexis and Julian. And I can't tell you this is the first time in a long time, excuse me, that we've seen Alexis. First time in a very long time we've seen Alexis. It was good to see her too. And from what I understand, she hadn't really. I get the taping information. She really hasn't taped that much, so I mean, I don't. For what I understand, I think Nancy Lee Grant she was celebrating Hanukkah a couple of weeks ago. So when Hanukkah began, she was celebrating Hanukkah. That's why she really wasn't doing much taping. But anyway, but yeah, let's move on from that. We have scenes between Alexis and Julian. Julian's talking about asking Alexis if she know anything about Carlos, and Alexis basically says she knows absolutely nothing about Carlos. She didn't know. She probably barely know who she seems like she's barely know who Carlos is. So and out of nowhere we see Molly in the background being all nosy and snooping around, and she hears the fact that Sonny could have Sean kill Carlos. So Molly runs to Kelly to go tell TJ that Sean. Well, before all that happened, Sean and TJ are having a little discussion because we all know TJ wouldn't visit it when sought out Sean he wouldn't sought out Sean for advice because he and Molly for the umpteenth time broke up yesterday's episode, broke up only to get back together over that Taylor and Rafe shit. I'm not even finna fucking talk about that. I'm not talking about that shit. But anyway, for all I know, all I care, Taylor and Rafe could leave the show. All I care, honestly. But anyway, but yeah, so TJ and Molly tells TJ that she heard that Julian Jerome popped up at her house, and he said something that Sonny could have Sean take down Carlos. For one, I say they should both of them stay out of grown folks' business. I mean, hey, that's how the mob works. They go after each other. They should stay out of grown folks' business. I mean, why the fuck do they even care that Carlos ain't nan one of them ain't met Carlos the first? They don't even know who the fuck Carlos is. So why do they even fucking care? But anyway, so they wind up going to the warehouse, and Molly wants to stay, but TJ basically tells her to go because he doesn't know what he's gonna find in there. And lo and behold, TJ finds Carlos. He finds Carlos, and he basically sets him free and whatnot. Carlos thanks him and all that and whatnot. He basically thanks him, and so anyway, Carlos. Well, there's this guard that I think a guard that works at the warehouse. He has a gun. He's basically about to get ready. I think somebody that Sonny them had guard the door. And I'm gonna tell you something. Because how TJ got into the warehouse is Sean basically left his coat hanging, left the keys, the warehouse keys in his pocket. TJ just grabs the keys. I'm like, Sean should just basically exit the mob. Sean should leave the mob. I mean, mob life meant for him. We know he fucked up that whole taking down Franco thing. He fucked up, even though he wasn't the one that shot Olivia. We know Ava Jerome was the one that shot Olivia, which we stay still. I guess they just dropped that damn storyline. It's something. This is one thing I've been like pissed off by JH lately. They've been just dropping storylines like this. I mean, it's taking a long time to pick them back up. I don't think they even clarified whether that Sonny know that Ava was the one that shot Olivia. Anyway, y'all know when Olivia was shot. She was basically in the hospital for a very long time. She was shot and whatnot. Anyway, moving on. So anyway, Carlos gets into a little scuffle with this guy, and as we can tell, because apparently from when I've been here, there's been this rumor for a long time that, for like 2-3 months that TJ is supposed to have been shot, supposed to get shot or something. He or Sean is supposed to get shot or something in this mob war. They don't say killed, they just say shot. Because how many people on this damn show that been shot and haven't died? But anyway, so apparently on tomorrow's episode, Carlos is gonna take TJ hostage and whatnot. But anyway, a lot of people were really worried on Twitter because there's been this rumor for a long time that TJ's supposed to get shot. I don't think he's gonna die. I mean, if he gets shot, I don't think he's gonna die. Because from what I understand, I get taping information, and I don't think the actor's still taping. But I do know one person that's gonna get shot. Apparently two people. Because there was this behind the scenes video that GH posted yesterday, and apparently Max is gonna get shot. No, Sonny's bodyguard Max G and Betty, he's gonna get shot. And somebody also said Duke was in that was laying on the floor with blood on him too. So I don't know. But anyway, I think eventually, because Finola Hughes was also in that video, and she was on that location shoot. So I think the PCPD will eventually come in throughout this whole mob shootout. But who shoots Max is what I'm probably gonna wind up going off tomorrow at the end of tomorrow's episode. I'm probably gonna wind up going off about. But anyway, moving on to other things. Let me talk about those Luke, Lulu, and Bobby scenes. Y'all know I live for the Spencers. The Spencers are like my favorite family on the show. It was good seeing all the Spencers together, Luke and Lulu and Bobby, all the Spencers that are on the show. Well, Carly and all her kids wasn't in those scenes. But anyway, they were basically talk about seeing how Lulu was doing, basically saying how, and it was the first time like in a long time we've actually seen Lulu and Luke in the scene together. But anyway, but yeah, they're asking Lulu how she's doing. I believe in a way, since baby Connie's no longer on campus, she's slowly getting over all this because her and Dante are going to try to have another baby. But what I'll be ranting about later on, is going to cause them not to have another baby. But anyway, so they tell her, she tells them that she's going to see Nicholas and whatnot. But Luke and Bobby actually wound up having a conversation about Julian Jerome, because we all know Julian Jerome is Lucas, her son's Lucas, which we all know who's coming on the show next year. Well, he's already taping stuff, but he's coming on next year. He will be, Lucas will be, we all know he is Julian Jerome's but Julian Jerome was his biological father. So they're basically talking about how they're gonna try to keep Julian from Lucas. Anyway, but yeah, that was some good scenes, some great scenes to see. Now let me talk about. I love the Lulu and Nicholas scenes. I love those scenes, the scenes between those two. I love their brother sister vibe. Anyway, but yeah, she was basically well, she came to Windermere. He basically she was basically holding her biological child. We've been predicting this shit for years. Well, not years, but like since Britt popped up at the nurse's ball and said she was pregnant. That was Dante and Lulu's baby. We knew it was happening. I mean, we knew it was gonna wind up being that, but coming out to be that. So apparently, Lulu was holding Ben in her arm, holding Ben, and she basically says, I mean, she just instantly clicks with the baby. I mean, the baby, instantly bonds with the baby. But anyway, but Nicholas is still clueless and whatnot. I mean, but also we have well, while that's going on, we have Dr. Obrick, Anna, and Dante at the PCPD, and Britt comes along later, and they have them at the PCPD. Dr. O is, but Dr. O was killing me today. She was basically just so determined. She was so determined about she was really seriously determined to to basically get Brit pregnant. So apparently, I don't think Brit know, she knew. Was she, from what I understand, how the actress was playing the emotions and all this, it seemed like, in a way, especially in yesterday's episode, that Brit didn't know about didn't know about that the fact that her mom that Dr. Obrix inserted her with Dante and Lulu's egg. But today's episode kind of seemed like she did know, but she was very upset about it because they had like a lot of recreated flashbacks from like February. Y'all remember when we found out that Dr. Obrick was in fact Britt's mother? They had a lot of flashbacks from back then, fake flashbacks. But anyway, but yeah. Anyway, so Dr. O and Britt are having, and Dr. O and Anna's basically interrogating Dr. O, and Dante comes in. Dr. Obrick says she has something she needs to say to Dante, and out of nowhere, Britt comes up and basically ruins it all. Britt comes in, and she basically grills her mother and wants to know what she's doing and whatnot. And at the end of today, long story short, at the end of today's episode, Britt basically flat out says that yeah, her baby is, her baby is Dante and Lulu's baby. And speaking of Dante and Lulu, they had some scenes with Brad today. It seems like they're in the process of redeeming the character of Brad. Anyway, in a way they are, but he kind of still lied for Britt today. He basically lied and said that it has something to do with Ellie is the reason why the embryos are gone or something like that. He basically, in a way, lied for Britt again. Said that the Ellie was the reason that the embryos are gone. I don't believe that shit. I mean, we all know Brad basically helped Dr. Obrick and Britt basically helped her in getting impregnated with Dante and Lulu's baby. Anyway, like I said, we all predicted that shit like months ago when Britt first popped up at the nurses' ball and said that she was. When Britt first popped up at the nurses' ball and said that she was, pregnant. We all predicted that was in fact Dante and Lulu's baby. But anyway, I'm trying to see if am I forgetting anybody. I think I pretty much covered everything in today's episode. I mean, I can't wait for tomorrow's episode. Can't wait to see what's happening with this mob stuff. I know I'm gonna be cussing Morgan ass out throughout the whole episode probably. Because if you if you get a chance to go on GH's Twitter page, or go on their Facebook page, go on General Hospital's Facebook page or their Twitter page, and they would like there's this behind the scenes video of all the mob stuff and whatnot. Anyway, I would advise you guys like to check that out because it kind of gives away a lot. But anyway, let me know how you guys feel about that in the comment section. Leave me a comment below. Let me know how you guys feel about today's episode. Anyway, this is Dominic checking out. Peace, God bless, and I'm out.